So a lot of us have heard of anorexia, but have you ever heard the term orthorexia? It's not yet actually a formal psychiatric diagnosis, but it's when eating healthy becomes unhealthy because you become obsessed with the food that you're eating. So we're talking about this morning with Dr. Julie, this very specific disorder. She's explaining the difference between anorexia and other eating disorders like this. Dr. Julie, good morning to you.
Good morning.
This is really more classified as OCD, yeah?
It is, but it oftentimes gets missed as anorexia. But it is on the Obsessive Compulsive Spectrum Disorders. It is not a feeding or eating disorder.
So reading labels, being healthy, that all is a good thing. When does it cross over to obsessive?
Sure. When it becomes obsessive.
Okay.
So when you are spending hours looking at ingredients, when you cannot take an invitation to a friend's house because you cannot eat something prepared by somebody else, okay? When you are going on vacation and you're bringing your own food because you're afraid of what might be in the food, and you don't have a control over it. So anorexia is going to be an obsessive focus on food, but with the goal of weight control, weight loss.
Okay.
In orthorexia, the goal is to eat clean or healthy, to be pure, and it becomes obsessive.
Well, that can be a problem, right? Because eating clean and pure is highly regarded.
Yes. Well, and what happens is it gets inadvertently reinforced by physicians, by coaches, by friends. They say, oh my gosh, you have such good eating habits. What they don't know is that the person for hours is worrying about what they're going to eat when they go to their friend's house. They can lose weight, they can have compromised nutrition status because they won't eat certain types of food.
This feels like an issue with fear and control.
Yeah, so let's talk about today. Today is the 4th of July. A lot of people are going out to barbecues. There's hamburgers, there's French fries. If you have orthorexia, you are worried about the hamburger, not because of the calories or the fat content, but does that hamburger have antibiotics in it?
Interesting. And you don't have control over those things.
And you
become obsessed.
don't have control.
Yeah.
So your control is, I'm not going to eat it.
Dr. Julie, how do you talk somebody away from that ledge, so to speak?
Yeah. As a society, we have to stop commenting on people's eating habits and on their weight because we never know what we are inadvertently reinforcing. If you are focused on food and health excessively. So we all want to focus on it to a certain extent in our life, but if it takes too much of your time and it's interfering with social well-being, emotional well-being, and nutritional well-being, it's a problem.
As a professional, how do you help somebody pry their fingers off of that control, so to speak?
Well, we diagnose it correctly. We recognize it as an obsessive compulsive disorder. There's specific treatment for that that's different than anorexia. And then again, we have gentle exposure to these foods, and then we work to decrease the anxiety. We need to expand people's life around food and around eating, not make it more rigid, and that's what this is all about.
Gentle exposure, and today might be the day to do just that, to take that baby step if this is something you're suffering with. Dr. Julie, thanks for the great conversation.
Thank you so much for having me.